Hey King Ethan, this is Matthew B666, and this is my deconversion story. For most of my young life, I was raised as a fundamentalist Christian in a very, very strict fundamentalist church. I mean, it was so strict that you couldn't go on vacation, buy a car, get a credit card, buy a house, or anything like, well, even think for yourself without asking a member of the preaching staff. They control every aspect of our life, and you probably know this, but for a fundamentalist, knowledge is like kryptonite to them. They try to suppress knowledge every chance they get, and I had a lot of questions. I always found it, kind of odd that there's a God who supposedly says that, he loves everybody, but yet he would send people to hell for all eternity. That just didn't sit right with me. And when I would ask questions about it, I'd get this: well, God works in mysterious ways, or we can't know the mind of God, or if it was good enough for Paul, it was good enough for you. Just cop-out answers. Or I even got this: I've been threatened with violence. Um, they even made my mom quit her job because they said women are not allowed to work. And we needed the help around the house. My dad couldn't just do it, all by himself. I mean, he makes pretty good money, but still, it it just makes no sense. Um, how they subjugate women and believe in all this corporal punishment bullshit, and trying to tell me that just dinosaurs were around with man. That's bull. You can look at the fossil record. And as I got older, I kept asking more questions. And here's one thing that I noticed they did, and in hindsight, they would never read the Bible all the way through. They would always skip around, to make a story out of, several different stories in the Bible. They'd always skip the sections like Testament where it talks about, all the genocide, the rape, the abortions, stuff like that. So when I actually read the Bible, this all came out to me, and that's what made me question it even more. And as I got older, I went into the military and was around people who were, not hardcore fundamentalist Bible bangers, and ended up going to college for emergency medical sciences, which I'm a nationally certified paramedic. And science has, always been something that I've been really good at. And the more I studied and the more I researched what the Bible said and what science had to say, I came to the conclusion, that there's, something's wrong here. This doesn't match up with what the Bible says, and I could actually go and buy everything that, science had said. So, all that coupled together made me become an atheist, because there's absolutely no evidence for God at all, and for anybody, and I felt just really so stupid for believing this all my life, but, and something else too is just fear. They say you gotta love God, but you gotta have fear, 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 fear. I realized that if they didn't have the fear of hell in there, they'd have nothing. That's the only thing that keeps people from questioning, Christianity or religion as a whole, because they have this fear that's drilled into you from day one that you're going to burn in hell for all eternity. And I don't believe I need to be on my knees ever groveling to a non-existent God that there's no proof for him. Nothing. The Bible can't hold up to scientific scrutiny because, well, let's face it, it's not science. And so, about a year, and it's not true at all. And ever since that day, it's just like a been lifted off my shoulders, I can think clearly. I'm not afraid anymore. and it's just a way better life. I'm glad I broke the chains of fundamentalism. I'm glad to say that my parents did it because they saw the bullshit that was going on, and I just had to explain it to them and show them how evolution works. Now, I'm no scientist, but you know, when you look at the evidence objectively and you use reason and don't let fairy tales dictate what you believe or how you run your life, things start making a lot more sense. And to me, because of that, life is just it's more exciting now. It's worth living. You know, why would you forego the experiences on um, evidence for? That's a waste. And I'm really sad to see that this country is going that way towards a theocracy, because if it ever gets like that, I'm just going to have to move to Europe, because I won't be a part of that. I will refuse to have somebody dictate what I believe and have control of every aspect of my life. So that's my deconversion story.